Hey, I'm Carl Taylor. I'm the founder of Books for Experts. We help attorneys and law firms stand out in the age of AI and get AI referrals. And we create authority assets for attorneys and perform uh, essentially AI era legal marketing. I was an attorney for 16 years, and then I started this business. I'm also a published fiction author, and I've had many articles published as an attorney and now with Books for Experts. So, what I want to talk about today is visibility. Is it just enough to be loud? And it kind of calls to mind. So my oldest daughter has been begging for a cat for a number of years, uh, at least two or three, and just constantly, constantly arguing, persuading, being very visible about her desire that the house get a cat. My wife and I um, we're not exactly cat people. We have a collie who's kind of uh, at an advanced age, and we were kind of looking to see what would happen with the collie when the collie went, and there's a pet void. But you know what? About 6 months ago, my daughter wore us down. We went out, we got the cat. Luckily, the cat and the collie get along great. And actually, the collie seems to be revitalized, which is kind of amazing. So, did my daughter prove that constant visibility and persuasion is enough to make the sale? Well, yeah, but she's my daughter. I mean, if so, I feel like a lot of marketing tries to hit you over the head every day, like buy this, buy this, buy this. We're the best lawyer. We're the best lawyer. We're the best lawyer, right? And ultimately, if there's no connection with your client, it's just going to be annoying. It, you know, so my daughter had an easy sale because I'm a sucker for my daughters, right? Um, But when you're out there marketing your legal practice, how do we make people suckers for your practice? And it's not through just, loud noise or social media. It's through developing a personality, a distinct philosophy for your brand. And that is really, really difficult to do because there's so much noise. And I feel like most legal marketing is kind of sludge based today. It's pay per click, it's SEO, it's these things that just kind of create noise, put your name out there, and they hope that you can find a moment in time where you hit somebody with the message when they're in a time of need. And that's helpful, or has worked because search engines are so ubiquitous. They've had so much power. It's been sort of an unfair advantage. And it's a pay to play market, right? So if you don't get out there and do the hard work of creating authority assets, writing, speaking, networking, then there was this other way to bring in work. And it was, look, if you're a lawyer paying for this stuff, it's not fun. You have to work a certain number of days each week to pay for the marketing, and then the rest of the week, is split between you and your staff. Um, so I tend to think it's outdated, that method. That you need to do more than just repeat the message or be visible because there's so much noise. Almost everybody's invisible, even if we're shouting, because you're shouting into a white void, right? And you're essentially drawing with white crayon on white paper. You're not leaving a mark. So what my firm, Books for Experts, does is we help lawyers and law firms generate work in the age of AI, which is much more sophisticated than search engines. And we do that through narrative and storytelling. We do that through real world validation, public relations, and kind of combining everything together with the technical details that are necessary to make sure you're found by AI, that you're trusted by AI, and that you create these virtuous circles where the more AI trusts you, the more it trusts your material. And the more material you have that's actually good, the more you'll be trusted. So you create this virtuous circle, which is really useful. But I feel like most legal marketing today is more can we please get a cat? Can you please hire my law firm? Hey, we exist. We're a law firm. Hire us. We're a law firm. We do divorce law. Hire us. We do it. Don't you need divorce law? And that's really expensive because even if you're targeting a narrow audience, you're not really building any sort of reputation. And as people continue as potential clients continue to go onto their chat GPT and look it up there versus searching it on Google. Eventually, there's going to be less people using that'll be available for pay-per-click or clicking on pay-per-click ads. There'll be less people visiting websites in general, right? Your website is becoming somewhat less important, which is kind of frustrating for those who build a lot of information and content to their websites, but it is. And the other thing is, it's not enough just to create content, and even to distribute content, because AI is looking for, is the content sophisticated? Is it original? Does it have components of you to it? Is it something that is worthwhile referring? And they only know that by your content creating clues as to who you are. And just saying, you know, I'm this kind of divorce lawyer, I'm this type of lawyer is not enough. It's got to be beyond just I'm a divorce lawyer. It's got to be exactly what kind of a divorce lawyer are you? And I mean that in terms of not like prenups and divorces and domestic violence law. I mean that in terms of what is your actual philosophy? How do you help people? Are you one of the greatest negotiators and everything's about collaborative law? Are you someone who's more like aggressive and litigation based? Are you, do you hold yourself out as like I'm the trial lawyer? Come to me when your case is going to trial and I'll rock it. Um, those are all different things, and AI is going to be smart enough to just. It's not going to be like I'm the top divorce lawyer in Tarzana, California. It's going to be who's the best divorce lawyer for this user in this specific scenario. And you only get there by creating these authority assets because it's also going to look to not just who's the best in terms of their messaging, but who's the best in terms of who do they trust. So it's like a great tiebreaker. If you have two people who are both aggressive attorneys in divorce law and Tarzana, then the person who has more authority with the system is going to get that referral uh, damn near every time. So I just want to take some time with this message, this video rather, to say be really mindful of what you're putting out there in terms of content. It's not enough to just farm it out to just anybody and hope it's going to work. You really need to be intentional, and everything that you create from your website to the books you're going to write, your podcasts, your speaking engagements, it all has to tie back to your philosophy. If it doesn't, then you're going to confuse Google and you're going to confuse humans, and that's going to lead to less referrals. And when you do bring in referrals, you're going to have misaligned rather than aligned clients. And that's really, really problematic for your entire firm. That's what leads into these, what I call the sludge taxes, which I'll get into in a future video, which I had on my podcast at one point. These essentially, your staff turnover is higher. You have people who have high AR because they don't want to pay you, is not satisfied. They're more likely to leave negative Google reviews or to um, even file a malpractice or an ethics complaint that's bogus against you. So if you have aligned clients, they bring in more aligned clients. If you have misaligned clients, even if they refer you cases, it's going to be other misaligned clients. And eventually you wake up one day and it's like a Talking Heads song. Like, this is not my law firm. This is not my, it's not my house. It's not my office, because it's overrun by people who are misaligned. And that is a very dangerous place to find yourself as an attorney. So booksforexperts.com if you want to learn more. We're taking on new law firms right now, especially for a couple of book projects. So very exciting times for us, and we have some bandwidth for a few others. So reach out to us at booksforexperts.com. Thanks.